Alrighty then. Hopefully I get lighting better this time. I'll keep working on it. When I start doing outside, I think my videos will get better, but sound quality might go downhill because my camera doesn't do well with wind. Anyway, I've been seeing a lot of videos on the web about what people refer to as their E.D.C kit, or everyday carry kit. And I mean, I've seen guys pull out stuff like, you know, these big, like, man purses and stuff with chock full of stuff that they supposedly carry with them every day. And I find this hard to believe. I mean, part of being, of course, prepared for emergency situation is having some of the things you need to survive an emergency with you and on you, right? And somehow I think that the man purse and the duffel bag and the backpack is not going to be part of something that you carry with you all the time. I even run into some problems with traveling because what I would like to normally carry on me would be my Buck 119 6-inch non-folding hunting knife, which is a beautiful thing for surviving in the woods. But nowadays, with homeland insecurity and traveling on airplanes and international travel, it's just not workable. So here it is. I start out with the beginning of my E.D.C kit, which is my keychain. And on the keychain I have, to begin with, my first knife. I have the Gerber Artifact. It's a crowbar, little crowbar. It has a small hobby knife blade in it, and the hobby knife blade, which can be replaced anywhere, it comes out before I get on an airplane, so that I can actually still have my tool when I arrive on the other side of homeland paranoia. I know a lot of people are attached to ferro rods. I've got a couple. I prefer a regular magnesium flint fire starter block. And I also carry on the keychain, although I don't use it very often to open cans with, I do carry a P51, I think it is. It's like a P38, only bigger, because I can use it as a striker easily. And I can scrape off my filings with that if I don't have another knife. Next, of course, is my CountyCom peanut lighter. This is a solid stainless cylinder, O-ring sealed, runs with a regular flint and regular lighter, works as a candle, okay. Uses regular Zippo fluid, or at a pinch you can use gasoline. It's small enough where if I take the insert out and throw a piece of thread inside there, I can lower this down the gas tank of a car and refill it, and use an old disposable lighter flint to get it going. It's waterproof. You can soak this in water for a month or two, take it out and light a fire. It works great. My standard flashlight now is a Gerber. It's a small Gerber. It takes one single AA battery. I would like to point out that I hate AAAs. They're useless, they have no power, and they're not as available. This is the most available battery in the world, the AA battery. Find them anywhere, and this gets good lifespan. I have it bright, not enough to go and spotlight deer with, but enough to find yourself a way around with, and the battery life is phenomenal with these little LEDs. Next, last thing on the keychain is, of course, my survival saw. Now, I've been through a lot of these, and there seems to be a big difference in quality. So when you go to do this, you're probably going to buy, I don't know, 5 or 6 or more before you get one that's good and try different brands. Anyway, I wrap mine in paracord. There are 2 rings on it, and I get the type where there are 2 rings. One ring is larger than the other. And the reason why you do this is because the first thing you'll do is cut yourself a sapling or a fresh tree limb that bends well, and then you place that, you ram that through the smaller, or the larger of the 2 holes, and then take the bigger end and put it through the smaller end and put it through the small hole, and bend it over, and it turns itself into a bow saw. So this goes on my keychain. And I'm a believer that a saw beats a knife for cutting trees. Generally, if I want to make a shelter or get firewood, I'm really not looking at trying to carry, you know, a machete with me or some kind of giant Rambo blade. After 6 inches, I think a knife starts to lose its usefulness as a knife, and it's not quite big enough to be an axe yet. So I go with this, and this is the survival saw. Now, I've seen ones that look like a chainsaw. I've tried them out. I don't think they cut as well or fast as these do, nor do they pack as light. I'm not going to put that on my keychain. But this has 2 rings on it. One, they're both like the type you put a keychain. One's a little bigger than the other, and they got like a fishing swivel on them. The big thing you have to be careful about is not to kink it. As long as it's straight, it's good. And like I say, you put your branch up through this one, bend it over, put it in that one, and you now have a bow saw. So that's just on my keychain, and of course, my key. Now, I also don't go very far without my coffee cup, because, I don't know, I'm getting old and I need the motivation, I guess. I drink a lot of coffee. But anyway, or tea or whatnot, hot beverages. But I always carry a metal cup because I can boil water in it in an emergency if I need to. And this one's a camo one. I think I got this for a couple of bucks at Fred Meyer, and it fits in the pocket of my coat when it's empty. Next is the coat. I drive a bike now, but even before I did, I always had one of these because the leather seems to protect from the wind for better than most other things do. Inside of my leather jacket, I always have some kind of beanie. I have what they call glove liners. They're little thin gloves that go inside your leather gloves for motorcycling, but they're really warm and they pack extremely small. And then, of course, the ever-present bandana, used for filtering water and a million other survival uses. Now, I do a lot of international travel, so I have the misfortune of having to carry stuff that doesn't fit in a regular wallet. So, I have, my passport has to go in here. Various other IDs. I've got an international driver's license floating around here somewhere. Here we go. And these things are oversized, so they're hard to fit inside of a regular wallet. But the plus side of carrying a little bigger wallet is I can carry some other things in there. 100-foot of fishing string wrapped up in electrical tape. The electrical tape has multiple uses, right? And I got this is heavy-duty sewing needles like you'd use for leather. All right, I got that inside there. Using the fishing string makes a good repair. I get the Eagle Claw little number 6 or number 5, whatever, number 3, different types of hooks with leaders in the package, and then I take the plastic and just wrap the whole package up and put a piece of electrical tape on it, and those go in my wallet. So I've always got a couple of fishing hooks inside there. Fishing is pretty easy. Another magnesium flint fire starter block. I know, again, people like ferro rods, but for me, I like something that's going to provide me with the tinder I need immediately, and I'm just not carrying a bunch of cotton balls soaked in Vaseline everywhere I go. That's just not practical for me. The other thing I carry, of course, a lot of people see this, and it's not because I'm living a swinging lifestyle, I'm a pastor, I don't do that, but unlubricated condoms. These will hold about a quart of water each in an emergency water gathering situation. Coupled with my metal cup, I can purify my water, let it cool, and store it in these. And these, when stuck inside one of my socks, become a decent way to carry water. And then I have what's referred to as like a survival credit card. Of course, money and other stuff too, but I'm not going to show that on YouTube so people don't steal my ID or something. So this is one of these little tiny survival tools that go in your wallet. It's a little credit card deal. It's got a sharp knife on one side, kind of a saw here you could use for maybe doing your figure 4 traps and whatnot, bottle opener. What I like about it is with all the holes and gizmos for doing all this other stuff that you're never going to do, you can split a stick, put it on there, and wrap it up a little bit, and this is a sharp edge, it makes kind of like a mini hatchet that can be useful in a pinch. You're not going to have a whole lot of time, but at least you do have a good steel blade that you can use that is a separate cutting tool. Now on my belt, I carry more. I have more things in my belt. My belt, I've got my cell phone, of course. Cell phone has a GPS on it. This one will do 3 weeks of power on standby without making phone calls, and I can get about 2 days of screwing around with my GPS and playing games on this thing. So, if I'm careful with this battery, I could probably navigate and all that with the GPS for at least a month. on one charge. This is a Nokia E71 inside of a waterproof OtterBox. Here I've got a headlamp inside of multiple bags to keep it dry, and then my little Gerber multi-tool, you know, your standard pliers. And I like this one. I think it's called the suspension. And the reason I like this is because out of all the things in the multi-tool, the thing I use the most often is the knife, and that opens up easily and locks. So it has a nice thumb stud, you know, boom, there I go, I got my knife, I can go and cut whatever I need to cut and put it away, it's real convenient. And then there's a serrated blade that opens the same way on the other side. So I like the convenience of that. Like I said, I normally like to carry 6-inch Hunter, but for the most part, carrying one of these does not appear to be a weapon. And many people become intimidated when you carry too much stuff on you and you start looking like John J. Rambo. The last thing I carry and have with me is I have my boots. And on my motorcycle boots, okay, you'll notice I have wrapped up a lot more lace than is needed because these aren't shoelaces, this is 550 cord. Okay, this cordage on here, I think it's probably about 15 feet plus of cordage per boot. And then inside that, this is 550-pound test, and then inside of it is 7 strands of 100-pound test. Okay, so that covers my cordage. And then, of course, also in the jacket, inside pocket, always goes with me, next to my wallet, is a space blanket, a shelter. And that pretty much covers it. That's most of the stuff I carry actually every day. And with just that combination of stuff, which hides itself onto my body really quickly without making me look like I'm going on a SWAT raid or I'm ready to go off in full battle dress to go to Afghanistan or something, just like, look, I'm going out to the store, it looks normal. I have pretty much everything you need for an emergency, including, you know, extra cash and light, handling, all this stuff. I literally could probably disappear into the woods for a long period of time with just what I have. If it wasn't too incredibly cold or devoid of all resources. I have stuff I can hunt with here. I have my fishing line I can fish with. I just got some snare wire I'm playing with, and I'll probably throw 4 or 5 snares in there inside my wallet as well. But yeah, so. But the key thing here is it's got to be something, got to be small enough where you can carry it, and you almost always want to have something you can boil in. And if you can't carry a cup like I do, and I do this a lot of times, it goes in my pocket or my motorcycle, I throw it in my saddlebag, then it's probably worthwhile to fold up some tin foil, stick that inside your wallet so you have something you can boil in an emergency, or some, you know, hexamine or some iodine tabs or something. So anyway, that's kind of a quick overview of what an everyday carry kit is. And you'll go and type E.D.C up on YouTube and come up with thousands of different results, but that's basically mine. I like to have a head covering because I bald, and between the bandana and that I can keep myself from sunburn and freezing. And with the space blanket I can usually keep myself fairly good, but I normally go out of the house with at least a jacket, a decent jacket, you know, and good boots and socks, and I almost always wear wool. So that's pretty much it. I'll do some more videos later, but I'm getting ready to head out here. Hopefully I'll be back on my property soon, and again I'll be able to do some stuff out there in the woods, and I'll be able to do some videos from there if I can keep the wind from making the camera sound too bad. Anyway, God bless, and Happy Memorial Day.